Okay, hi everyone. Here we go. We're going to do back to basics lesson number 16, grid journey number 4. We're going to tackle circles. Don't fear, it's not as bad as it looks, I promise. So we're going to go to grid journey. We're going to go to lesson 4. Lesson 4 says right here, do not panic. Don't panic. If you have not started the lesson journey, there's no time frame. Do not panic. Go back to step number 1 if you want to. You can start in the middle of the grid journey in step number 4 if you like. Take as much time as you want to complete your different lessons. Don't think you're not good enough to share your artwork. Absolutely. If you want to send don't send Ina a friend request, as she says here, because right now Ina is going through a really difficult health crisis, and so she will not be on social media in any way, shape, or form for some time, and so please, she won't answer you. You can send stuff to me at Draw Tangles with Dawn on Facebook. You can send it to me in a private message there. I will see it. I might take a couple of days to see it, but I will eventually see it. Today we're going to do circles. So she has given us a template. Just click on that template, print it out, or you can draw your own. Here is the link to all the templates, and you know, depending on what you do, just fill in the circular grid by just playing with that. She also has 2 different circles. She has circles that are just standard like this, and then she has circles that go a different direction. Look at those, going all skewed different directions. So you can do it with the gray lines, you can do it with the black lines, you can print whichever ones out that work best for you. I printed them all with the gray lines because I may or may not want the lines in my final artwork. But for practice, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to turn my light on. And we're just going to, it's going to be very simple. I'm just going to take this Amy base that we've used before in lesson grid pattern lesson number 1. I believe it was. Yeah. Was that when I did that? Amy base? I think so. Yes. Grid journey lesson number 1. And I'm just going to pick one of the ones that I really liked the best, which is this one. I really like this one. I did it again here. Remember, I did this one. I'm going to pick this pattern and I'm going to apply it to a circle. It's not as hard as you might think. You may not want to do this most inner bit. Most of the time when I do a circle grid, I don't do this one. I will fill this in with something else, or just make it solid, or I won't draw this part in the middle. I'll leave it as a center that doesn't have what I do with my pen. This one will work. Let's draw in blue today, because apparently I don't know what I did with my black one. Oh, there it is. Let's draw in black. So I am going to actually start at the outward and work my way inward, just because the inner ones start to get, see how the outer ones are wide and short, right? And as you get toward the middle, they get more square-ish. This is probably the closest one to a square, the one in the middle. And then they start getting skinnier and tall. So I'm going to start with the ones that are bigger and work my way inward. And this particular pattern, we did that Amy base, we did, let me make sure that this is an even number of pie pieces first before I get started. It could be an odd number. I don't think it is, but it could be. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. No, it's an even number. We're good. So if it was an odd number, I wouldn't choose to do a pattern that did 2 going one way, 2 going another, because it needs to be an even number that way. Yeah, I would choose a pattern that just went one way, one way, one way. I hope that makes sense. I would choose, instead of doing this one where it's 2 going one way, 2 going another way, I would choose this one where it's 1 going one way, 1 going another way, if I was doing an odd number. Okay, so let's do 2 going this way, and then 2 going this way. Then it goes 2 going this way, and then 2 going this way. And we're just using this base pattern because we've already played with it and it's easy, right? All we do is do the diagonal. No matter what shape the box is, you're still doing a diagonal from corner to corner, right? And then in this corner, we're doing this. And then in this corner, we're coming this way. And this way. And this way. That's all it is. A diagonal and a teardrop. Just a diagonal and a teardrop. Okay. Now we're going to go into the next row. Now you have a decision to make. Are you going to make the next row exactly the same as the row below it? Or are you going to go the other way? When I chose this one, it actually is the other way. So the next row down, see these two went this way. The next row down go this way. So they're opposite. So if these two went this way, then these two go this way. And then 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 this way. Okay? And then, if that went this way, then this one is coming this way, and it needs the little thing from the top. And then these are coming from the bottom. And these are going from the top. And these are going from the bottom. top and bottom. Can you see where I am? Nope. From the top and from, that should have me all the way around. Okay, now the next one goes the opposite again. So these two are going this way, so they need to go this way. And then 2 down. And then 2 up. And then 2 down. And then 2 up. And 2 down. And then 2 that way. And 2 this way. Okay. Next. The ones this then, see, this is where I start to get confused when I'm doing a pattern that's a little bit different, but this row and this row match, right? See how that diagonal is the same as this diagonal? That means this piece needs to be in this corner because they need to match. So just follow what you did previously. And then this one needs to match that one. So this one comes this way. Right? Yes. Like that. It's different on a circle. It looks different completely on a circle. That's interesting how that's turning out. Okay, so we're going to do it again. I need to follow this. This is the first one. This is the second row. This is the third row matches the first row. So the fourth row matches the second row. So just follow what you did before. 2 of those. And then 2 of these. And then 2 of those. And 2 of these. 2 of those. But see, your angle's getting different. Because now it's getting tall and skinny instead of short and fat. Okay, so this one I need here. This one needs to match this one. It's coming up this way. Oh, I didn't do this one. That's where I should have started. So that one went this way. This one goes this way. That means this one goes this way. This one goes this way. Okay. One more. I think I'm going to do one more round, and then this middle bit, I'm going to do something different. So, this is the first, second, third, fourth, fifth should match the first. So it's going to go this direction, 2, and then this direction, 2, and then this direction, 2, and then this direction, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, like that. And so this one has one coming this way. I think I'm just going to do this one. Okay. And then the ones that come up the other way are these two. Okay. That's correct. Now, I don't want to get down in here into the tight. So what I'm going to do is I do want to connect these pieces though in some way. So I think I'm going to connect this one and this one to down here with a teardrop. Like that. I do like a seed of some sort. Okay, and right up here in the middle, I think I'm gonna end up coloring that in. Something like that. In the middle. All right. So it is tricky, but it is possible to do that base pattern, even though it's kind of weird, in this circular grid. Now, I will admit that that was a bit of a thought process. I think if I was to just practice, if I wasn't didn't feel confident with my skill, I think I would just do maybe this one, just simple, or even this one to practice let's do that on the next one. This next one is a challenge because look at the weird oblong shape of it. I am going to just to start, I am going to color in this middle bit because I don't even want to go there. That is just a place I do not want to visit. Too small, too hard to get to, weirdo spot. I'm just going to color that sucker in. And then I'm going to try just this diagonal pattern, going all the same direction in every square, just to play and practice. Okay, so this one I can go ahead and start from the middle and go outward because I'm just going to do it all the same. But see how some of them now are fatter at the bottom than these ones. They were consistent. In this ring, they were a consistent size. In this one, they are not a consistent size. But you still go from corner to corner and do the exact same thing in every single spot, no matter what the angle is. Just follow the angle that it is. Don't force it to be a different angle, because some of them are going to be much taller, steeper angles than others. But this is a much more challenging thing, so I'm going to do it with a much more easy pattern. I have, in some of my videos, made some very challenging grids for myself. And it sometimes can be extraordinarily challenging to get a pattern into this weird shaped grid. But you can do it. This is just to show you how easy this is, and I would encourage you to practice on something simple like this on a warped circular grid. Next one out. You guys are a little far away. Can't quite see what I'm doing, can you? Sort of, kind of, sort of. I'm just going to keep going the same way. I was going to think about going the other direction, but that would just, I'm trying to make it simple. This one is going to just be simple as possible. Oh, now see, I went at the same angle I did this one, and it's not the same angle. So I just corrected myself and filled it in. That's better. That's the hardest part, is changing angles, because you get used to, on a grid pattern, everything being the same angle, and this is definitely not the same angle. So I'm going to continue to turn my page so that I am going at a similar angle each time. So that I'm constantly pulling my pen towards me each time. That makes me be more consistent with spacing in matter which direction that little spot goes. But these can absolutely be fun to play with, and these can be a way to, if you are a person who really just doesn't like grids too much, this can be a way to really challenge your mind on how to fit the pattern into this irregular shaped grid, because each one of these little spots is completely irregular shaped, even though they're based on a square grid, but it's turned sideways, it's squashed, it's flattened, so it's not it's no longer square, right? Become all sorts of interesting shapes based on perspective. This is what confuses people when they're drawing like actual objects, is the fact that the angles change based on your perspective. Once again, I had a problem with that one. That's all right. I just came back and corrected myself. Once you get it in with the rest of your drawing, you probably won't notice, unless you've gone really way off the rails, but just trying to make my lines similarly spaced from each other. This was a good pattern to use for this because I really don't have to think so much, because it's just the diagonal and then following that same line with an aura. There are a lot of squares in this, aren't there? Yes, indeed. Okay, you get the idea, right? Do I have to do the whole thing? Are you guys going to make me do the whole thing? Yeah, I should do the whole thing. At least one more round. One more round. We'll see what it looks like after one more round. But see, this is going to get longer and less steep as I come out. They're almost horizontal. There's not much in the way of diagonal there. Even though they're still doing the same thing, they're going up into the corner. But then when we come across here, see, that becomes more of a diagonal. So the point of this lesson isn't to do exactly what I'm doing, although you absolutely can. But I would print off a bunch of these and find one or two of those patterns that you've been playing with. If you found one that you really enjoyed doing as a grid, as part of your grid journey, you know, play with it on one of these round templates and see what they look like when you do that. Maybe I really don't feel like finishing this. You can tell I'm getting sloppy. See, my lines got kind of far apart there. I just added another one in the middle there just to make it a little more consistent and uniform. But this is no longer making me happy. Now it's just, I could get into the zone and become meditative about it, but because I'm trying to be conscious of time and that you guys are there, this is no longer really fun. But I'd like to try something, and this video is already getting long. So this is good enough to show you this, okay? I'm going to try one more of the circle grids because I printed one more. And I want to try, remember when we did this page the other day? This one. I want to try one of these patterns, one of the simple ones. Perhaps this one or this one. Let's do this one and see what I can do with it on this. And I'm going to start, I think I'm just going to do a wedge. Yeah, let's just do a wedge. So I'm just going to do it inside this section. Okay. And I'm just going to play with that pattern. So what did I decide? It was the rice shape. It's the rice shape going like this. See how in each one we have to do it slightly different. Okay, they get smaller. They still had to span that corner. And then we're going to do a spiral coming out from there. Making it in keeping with the size of the square. Getting progressively different angle. That's what that would look like. So this is what it looks like on a straight grid. And that's what it would look like on a flattened curved grid. Very interesting. I like it. I like it a lot. And then you could take that and you can continue to play with it and do whatever other things make you happy, right? And perhaps because this seems to have so much room there, it doesn't have a lot of room down here, but perhaps I would want another spiral coming out and maybe touching that. Yeah, something like that. Right? Perhaps I'd want an aura here. They get very small down here. And they change shapes. So you can still do that same grid journey thing. You can play with the pattern. Doesn't have to be on the square grid. Okay. Anyways, I wanted to just throw that out there. Take your pattern, play with it, enjoy yourself. There's that one, which came out really interesting and would be a fun one to color. This one would be a fun one to color. That would be a fun one to erase the gray. You know, draw it with pencil. Your circular grid, and then erase that, and then color that in. That would be really pretty. This one here, very interesting. All right, so you guys have a great day. Go out and do something nice for someone today. Make the world a better place, one person at a time. And I will see you on the next video, which will be, what, next week? Are we at the end of the week? Yes, we are. We are at the end of the week. So I will see you next week. Have a great weekend. And, yeah, do something nice for someone today, okay? See you later. Bye-bye.